A hearty welcome to you all on Oscar Ntsintsi Football. Well, on this episode, it's a part one of 3 episodes where we're focusing on 2 groups in each and every of those 3 episodes. On this episode, we're focusing on the group of death, Group C and Group E, which consists of Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia. Now, outside the 2 main things, which are the 2 groups, we have to also give updates on Afcon. All the other news related to the upcoming 34th edition of Afcon 2023, which will be hosted in Ivory Coast. These other news were controversial, but others were definitely exciting. It's always good to start any episode on a positive note, and the positive one today is definitely a money issue. Now, the CAF board have decided to increase the prize money to $7 million. Now, the runners-up will get $4 million. Now, I might not know the figure in Zambian kwacha, in Kenyan shillings, the Namibian dollar, Nigerian naira, Ghanaian cedis, Senegalese franc. But what I know, in South African rands, $7 million is just over 130 million rands. I don't care who you are. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Now, to also give you perspective, the equivalent of Afcon in South America, I think it's called Copa America. The last winners took $6.5 million. The runners-up took $3.5 million. Now, Dr. Patrice Motsepe and his board, you can tell there's progress. They are doing well. It means that Afcon is better than the South Americans in terms of the prize money. The equivalent of Afcon in Europe, UEFA gave the Italians in 2021, UEFA Championship, when they won the tournament, they gave them $11 million. The runners-up, which was England, they took home $7.7 million. I think we need to applaud Dr. Patrice Motsepe and his board. They are doing well. You can tell there's a lot of sponsorships coming in, the corporate coming in to sponsor the football that we all love. Now, we are also praying that these parasites who are, presidents of all these federations, they don't scatter that money when the players have done the good work in winning these tournaments. And we really hope that what they've promised the players, they will deliver on it. And now, on the controversial side, we have to discuss Multichoice DSTV SuperSport. Now, Multichoice, who owns SuperSport TV, made an announcement earlier this week that they will not be broadcasting the Afcon 2023. Now, this is controversial because Multichoice or SuperSport TV, they've got a huge audience in Africa. And a large number of these African nations, who are mostly your Anglophone African countries, consume a lot of African football. And for Multichoice to come out and say they will not be broadcasting the flagship of African football really comes as a shock and a disappointment to many. Obviously, it was an open secret that New World TV from Togo had won the rights to broadcast the competition. I think they put in an offer of $75 or $80 million last year November to CAF, which was gladly accepted, and Multichoice could not match nor beat that offer. But at least come to New World and negotiate for sub-licensing, so you can obviously extend. This is going to be an advantage to New World TV, that they will extend their reach through Multichoice. But the guys seems like they did not come to any agreement. For us South Africans, the government-owned SABC, or South African Broadcasting Corporation, has come to our rescue. A bigger reason why South African citizens maybe should start paying their TV licensing. I think it's only like less than $300 per year. All 52 games will be live on SABC 1, 2, 3 and SABC Plus, their app. So you can also stream on your phone, on your laptop and on your tablet. But for Multichoice, it really appeared, to even an average Joe, that these guys didn't make an effort for a large number of the soccer-loving community, make an effort at least get that sub-licensing deal with New World Order. I'm not even sure these guys are aware that in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, there were already complaints that their subscriptions are already overpriced. Now to come and actually say to all these Anglophone African countries that there will not be football coming via Multichoice, it's really a disappointment. You can really feel and taste the frustration on Twitter, on Facebook. Some people are even suggesting that they should boycott Multichoice, because this is a shocker. Multichoice will do anything to acquire the rights to broadcast Euros, to broadcast tennis, to broadcast rugby, cricket, and really here it appears like we are being undermined by Multichoice. Maybe it's a good thing that this New World Order TV is coming into play, so they can actually bring some competition to one broadcaster who's really dominated the space for some years. And thank you to SABC, thank you to the government if they were involved in this, in bringing this to the soccer-loving community. Now, for the main thing of the episode, Group C and Group D. Group E. Let's start with Group E. Group E consists of Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia. Only 2 nations have won the Afcon in this group, which is Tunisia once, South Africa once in 1996. Mali, although they've done well in most of these competition, but they've really never won anything as yet. Namibia, the lowest ranked side in the group, ranked number 27 in CAF ranking. South Africa is number 12, Mali is number 8, and the highest ranked is Tunisia on 3rd place. Now, as things stand, South Africa is currently in the Western Cape, Stellenbosch, prepping for this tournament that will be playing Lesotho on the 11th of January before they jet off to Abidjan. I think their first game is on the 14th or 15th. I am not sure. I'm still not really figured out why they are preparing for this tournament in Stellenbosch. Cape Town does not really have a straight weather, but in South Africa as a whole, we haven't really had a scorching, summer vibe weather. It's been hot, cold, wet, and for them to go to Cape Town to prepare for something, in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, it's very humid, it's very hot. So for them to be preparing in Cape Town, I would have maybe understood if maybe they went to Durban, or they went up north to Polokwane or Venda, or even in Mozambique. It would make more sense because they are going to a very humid part of Africa in Abidjan. But in this group, they are the only ones who will be playing a friendly against the side that is not qualified for Afcon. I don't know whether it's good or whether it's bad, or maybe they just want to solidify the formations they will be practicing now in Cape Town. I'm not really sure. But anyway, Tunisia, on the other hand, have decided to stay at home, and then they'll be playing Mauritania and Cape Verde, 2 nations that have also qualified for this year's Afcon. And when it comes to Mali, they've gone to, I'm not sure if it's they've gone to UAE, United Arab Emirates, and they'll be playing some, because there's a whole lot of nations who went to the Middle East to prepare for this tournament. It makes sense because a lot of these nations who have qualified for Afcon, a lot of their players play their trade in Europe. At this point in time in Europe, it's winter. So for majority of these teams to go and camp in the Middle East, it makes sense. The heat, the humidity, in preparation for what they will encounter in Abidjan. Now, the lowest ranked team in the group is Namibia, and Namibia have decided to camp in Ghana. Makes sense. Ghana are just neighbors to Ivory Coast. The weather is the same, and they'll probably acclimatize quicker. And but as what I think who will qualify best in this group, I really don't think there's an easy group in this year's Afcon. There's no easy group. And well, as a South African, I'm hoping that at least we can qualify as second best in the group. But everyone in this group has got a chance. But probably the one team that has really got a strong squad is Mali. They're probably the clear favorites to win the group. Maybe second place might be fought between South Africa and Tunisia. On paper, Tunisia must be number 2 and South Africa number 3. But South Africans should have got nothing to lose. They really need to go out there and play their normal game and play to our strengths. And when we play to our strength, we normally upset North Africans, which is why I think we can actually be second place in this group, and Tunisia could be third. I'm not undermining Namibia. One of the fittest players in PSL play for Namibia, and Chalulile in Hoto, and the left back Hanabut, who plays for Amazulu. So I'm not really undermining them. There's no when you undermine any African nation in such tournaments, you normally get humbled. But South Africa should at least take second, and we'll have to wait and see. Now, the most important one is Group C, the group of death, and it includes all nations are in the West African region. It is the defending champions who are ranked number 2 in Africa, and followed by Cameroon, who are ranked number 7, Guinea number 15, and the lowest ranked nation in the tournament is the Gambia, ranked 29th. Probably everyone, they will think that the Gambia will be the beating boys of this group, but you never know. And what's funny is that the last nation to have a back-to-back or defend their title successfully was Egypt. They won Afcon in 2006, 8, and in 2010, and that was the last time they won the competition. But those were the last nation who won a back-to-back back then. And every nation that has come after that winning the Afcon, when they have to defend, they've normally been kicked out. In the group stages or in the last 16. So we'll have to wait and see what Senegal will do this year. They have a good squad. They've got a good balance between the experienced and the young ones. And the young ones that are coming in are actually playing for some decent good teams in Europe, in France, in Switzerland, and in England. You've got guys playing for Nottingham Forest, and they're playing week in and week out. They've got a top guy playing with Ronaldo in the Saudi Premier League, in Saudi Mane, and they've got Nicolas Jackson, who plays for Chelsea. They've got options for days, a balance of experience, and the young ones. So they've got a good, decent team to defend their title. But as I said before, it appears like it's almost like a curse for a team coming back to the competition to defend it. It normally does not go well. And the second most successful side in Africa is Cameroon. Egypt have won the competition 7 times, and Cameroon has won it 5 times. And here's a stat: Cameroon almost always do well when they play in West Africa. So is this another one for Cameroon, the Indomitable Lions, to actually go as far as winning it? Because anytime Western African nation is hosting Afcon, Cameroon will always do well. They will definitely want to do well because they are not too far from Ivory Coast, so they will have the support. They will have everyone going into Abidjan to support them. The third highest ranked team in the group is Guinea. No one is giving them a chance because everyone on paper will say Senegal will win the group, Cameroon will be second, and probably Guinea will be third. They've got Guirassy, who plays for Stuttgart in Bundesliga. The guy is only second to Harry Kane in the goal scorers in the league. So they've got a top guy playing up top. And this group is actually, you never know what might happen. The Gambia might upset a lot of people, might upset a lot of bookmakers. So we will have to wait and see. And one of the things when I watched Senegal last year, maybe 6 months or 7 months ago, they played a friendly against Brazil in Brazil, and they beat the Brazilian, a strong side in Brazil with all their top players. It was a friendly game, but nothing is ever friendly when the Brazilian national team is playing. On that day, they were even booed out by their own fans, that is Brazil, because the Lions of Teranga managed to beat Brazil in their own background 4-2. And when you watched that team again, it was a good balance of the experienced and the young ones. And we will have to wait and see. Now, one thing that also made a lot of news this week was that ONANA will only be arriving a day before their first match against Guinea. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but according to me, ONANA, not because of his poor performances from Man U, but ONANA for me is not their number one. I believe their number one should be the guy who played in the World Cup, Epasi. Epasi should remain number one, and ONANA should not get any special treatment because he plays for Man U and is one of the most expensive goalkeepers on earth. But you can't come to camp a day before. I'm not sure if Man U received the permission from Samuel Eto'o as the president of the Cameroonian Federation. I don't know what was the deal, but Rigobert Song should not make that mistake and give a guy who was not in camp with the teammates the goalkeeping position simply because he plays for Man U. I think that Senegal in this tournament will go as far as the final. I think these guys really want to cement as one of the sides that have really played well, a side that must be remembered in Senegal as a generation that did a back-to-back. I think Senegal have a chance of going all the way. I see them and Morocco in the final, but I will not count out Cameroon as well. Guinea, we'll have to wait and see the performances of Guirassy, Serhou Guirassy of the Guinea, and Keita behind him in that midfield. We'll have to see, and we'll have to also find out what Gambia has got in place. What I've found out in my research is that the Gambians, they are expecting the Gambia to win the tournament. Well, it is what it is. We all have our beliefs, and if that's what they believe, that's them. That's them. Thank you so much, folks, for staying this long, and this is a part 1 of 3 series. The next episode will be focusing on the other 2 groups as to where they're camping, players who have made the squads, players who are injured, and any changes, and the friendly games they'll be playing. And majority of Group C, Senegal is camping at home. Cameroon, the Indomitable Lions, they are in Saudi Arabia. Guinea and the Gambia, they are in Saudi Arabia for camping, and I think Guinea is in UAE. But all of them, except with the exception of Senegal, at home, they are all in the Middle East in preparation for this 34th edition of Afcon. Maybe you're asking, why is it called Afcon 2023 when it's played in 2024? It was because of the pandemic, COVID pandemic. The tournament was supposed to be played in 2021, was then moved to 2022, and nothing normally changes with the branding because it was supposed to be played in 2021. So that's how it will go. I don't know until when. So that's why it's 2023, because the competition was supposed to be played in 2023, and even if it's played now in 2024, that's how things go. And yeah, if you had that question, I hope I have answered you. Thank you so much for staying this long. Remember, do engage, do subscribe, do like, do share the content on all your socials, all your WhatsApp groups. Let me hear from you what you think about the group of death, what you think about the group that includes Bafana, Mali, Namibia, and Tunisia. Does Namibia have a chance? Does Bafana have a chance to go all the way? I don't know. Let me hear from you. Thank you so much, and may my God bless you all.